Against the Grain movement. What's happening, family? How you guys doing on this evening? Hopefully this video finds you in great health, in great spirits, dominating everything that you touch. It's your boy Top Dog back in the building for another installment of Wealth Wednesdays. I'm going to be dropping some nuggets to promote wealth. We're talking about long-term wealth. We know now that there's a difference between wealth and being rich. You can go on a crack binge and be rich, and you can blow that all, but you can never blow wealth. We're introducing wealth building strategies because we're always speaking about legacy. And when I'm in front of this camera and on this microphone, that's what we're talking about. So let's not get it twisted. We always talking about wealth building principles, and leaving legacy behind, assets behind for our children's children, because this is the way the Most High meant it to be for us and our families. We weren't here to be poverty stricken and have poverty mindsets. So we're always going to be talking about wealth. We're always going to be talking about elevation, motivation, and domination. We're always going to be talking about higher levels of understanding. We're always going to be provoking thought on this channel. So without going any further, the continued support, man, is greatly appreciated. We can't do it without you guys. So all of you that are continuing to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit that notifications buzzer so that you're aware we're putting out new content. You're the reason why we're doing it, baby. So thank you so much. All we do is win. We're still riding off the wave of that message because that's what we're here to do. Win. Why be average? Why? Why be average and you don't have to be average? Why? Ask yourself that question. Challenge yourself each and every day. Challenge yourself to be better. If you don't have people in your corner pushing you, ask yourself why. So many of us are afraid to ask the question why because we've been trained to not ask why, because asking why in most circles of life in the way that we were raised is looked at as a bad thing. But God likes when you challenge. God likes when you ask questions about things. God likes when you're inquisitive about things. Because if you're inquisitive, you're opening up a brand new world for growth. And what I tell you guys, only healthy things grow. And growth is the portal to prosperity. Growth is the portal into everything it is that you want beyond yourself. Re-examine your why constantly, and your why must make you cry, or otherwise it's not strong enough. Your why must make you cry. So I'm going to be talking about a concept on today that I think you guys should know. I think you guys should take notes about this. I think you guys should file this into your mental Rolodex. And I think you guys should revisit this as often as possible if your third eye is open and you're saying, hey, all I want to do is win. All I want to do is win. So here's some principles that I'm going to be showing you guys on today to take heed of, and this is all about wealth. So without further ado, you know what we do about this time. Come on in, do whatever it is that you need to do to relax, and let's get loose. So tonight, guys, I'm feeling this in my spirit again. I don't know what it is. I think my confidence is growing. I'm getting more and more comfortable in front of this microphone, in front of this camera. And man, my spirit, there's been something that's been downloaded into my spirit, man. And me just talking right now and how this conversation is flowing, it's just coming from someplace else, right? This is not me. There's an experience that's going on that's out of body experience right now, because I'm not stumbling over words, and I rarely do anyway. But this conversation, the last couple of conversations that I've had in front of you guys have been so free-spirited and so flowing that I know that these conversations are coming from another place in which my my expertise in all of that is being tested, and now I'm growing to another level. So I want to talk to you guys about this here. It's only 3 ways of making money in this world. And the majority of you fall into a certain category, and there's no reason why, there's no wonder why the top 1% continually get rich, because the bottom 9%, you know what I mean, are just pigs waiting to get slaughtered. And the number one, which is on the bottom, and Robert, I want to give a shout out to Robert Kiyosaki. He preached about this years ago in Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And a lot of this at that point in time went over my head because my mind wasn't mature enough. I was still living in a poverty mindset at that point in time, and I could not grasp this concept until my mind, my body, and my soul were all in alignment. So now that I'm able to grab onto this information and pass it along to you. That's what a teacher does. A teacher can't teach without having a full concept and a full understanding of what it is that he's teaching. He has to be good enough to regurgitate or verbalize what it is that he's learned to be able to teach it, and that's the definition of a teacher, right? So 90% of you guys are trading time for money. What's the problem with that, though? Time is saturated because we're all going to run out of time. No matter who you are, where you live, how much money you have, all of the wealth that you've accumulated, you're going to run out of time. It's a known fact that no one gets out of here alive. So we continually trade time for money. Time for money. But again, the X in that algebraic equation is time. You're going to run out of time. So why do we continually trade time for money? Conditioning, things that we've been taught. You know, I just spoke just a second ago about not questioning things. We've been taught, and we've been programmed to not question things. So we do what most people do. That's why this is at 96%. 96% of people. This is we're not talking about color specific. We're talking about 96% of people get caught in this trap of trading time for money. You often hear me talk about the 40-40-40 club. That's when you work 40 hours a week for 40 years of your life and retire on less than 40 years, 40% of your income, and you end up ringing a bell at Walmart at 60-something years old because you didn't plan properly for your retirement, so-called retirement, and now you got to go back to work. Doesn't that suck? You've worked all of your life, and now you're retired, and you don't have enough money to stay in retirement, so you got to go back to work because you were living a poverty mindset and financially piss poor all of your life. So this is what we're reversing here, guys. My children will not be financially piss poor. My children will not live a poverty mindset and be part of the 40-40-40 club, because we're teaching on this channel that we're not going to trade time for money. We're not going to do that. We're not trading time for money because time in that equation is saturated. We can't control it. There's nothing we can do about it. So we're going to move into the second way in which we make money, and that's 3%. 3% of the world is doing this, and they're investing. They're investing their money. You know, they're taking risk. You know, and money is investing is like gambling. There's no guarantee. There's ups, there's downs. You got to be in the right place at the right time. You got to be knowledgeable about certain things. But there is a way to make money, and it's also a step up, because now you've excluded yourself from the 96% and you've stepped up into a different echelon of people and a different way of thinking. So at least you've taken that step, right? Because only 3% of the population is doing this. Only 3% of the population is actually investing their money, using their money, and allowing it to make them money. And the majority of you are going to say that's a good thing. And it is a good thing because just as I told you, you've stepped up and you've stepped out of, listen, I'm just going to trade my time for money and I'm just going to throw it all on the wall and I'm going to just hope and turn out for the best. Man, how many of you guys are tired of getting up and going to work in the morning? How many of you guys are tired of being told this is what you have to do? How many of you are tired of being classified as an essential worker? Who gets to classify you as an essential worker in this day and time? Who should make that decision besides you? Who should make that decision for you to go out and put your life on the line for somebody else? Who should have the majority control of that decision if not you? Well, you got to step up into this, at least this realm, to where you're paying yourself first and you're making investments and allowing your money to make money for you. Warren Buffett says it this way: if you don't find a way to make money in your sleep, you will work until you die. And this is a multi-billionaire. So you ain't got to listen to me. Hey, I'm just a guy on the mic regurgitating this stuff. You ain't got to listen to me. But if he says it that way, then it behooves you to start making changes in your life. Because what if we've been telling you for weeks and weeks and weeks? The world has changed right before your very eyes and you're allowing it again to change and you're not going to do anything about it. There are still investments to be made despite the fact that everybody is telling you that the sky is falling. There are still investments to be made right now. There are still ways to make money because who is this economy bad for? Is it bad for the ultra rich? No. This is opportunity for them. It's bad for you that are sitting around and watching opportunities go by. That's what is bad because you have an opportunity now. When you got stocks that are normally $300 a share and now they at $5 a share, you got opportunities now. We're not going to go into all of that on tonight. We're not going to go into all of that on tonight. I'm going to give you the number one. Number one, we're leading into number one. I've given you number three. I've given you number three and number two. Number three, in case you missed it, number three, trading time for money. That's long gone. That's been played out years and years and years ago. It's time to stop trading time for money. It doesn't work. No way, no how. You can't accumulate wealth trading time for money. It's not possible. Many have tried and many have failed. You cannot trade time for money. Number two, investing your money and allowing your money to make you money. Residual income, pajama money, making money while you're asleep. You know, you've now moved up into a spot where at least you can pass that on, and now you're at least thinking about legacy. But how the rich and the ultra rich stay rich is right here. I'm going to give it to you. And I know you've been waiting. You want to do a drum roll? The number one way that the rich and the ultra rich stay that way is what me and my business partner call the octopus effect. Multiple streams of income. You have to find a way to create multiple streams of income. So if you're investing over here, you can invest. You can also go over here. You can have your real estate fund. So what's known as your portfolio, your financial portfolio, you need to have 7 things in there that are bringing you income. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, as they say, right? When you open up that portfolio, there needs to be 7 ways, at least 7. And the octopus effect is coming down to 8, right? You need at least 7 ways of producing income. 7 ways of producing income. This is how the ultra rich and the rich stay rich. We're talking about wealth now. There's a difference between wealth and rich. Being rich is you being rich. There's no guarantee that the generation behind you can live off that money. But wealth can never be dissipated. And we're talking about how they stay wealthy. 7 streams of income, guys. Listen, I don't want you to hear anything that I'm saying and think that it's impossible for you. When you take in this information, know that it's possible for you and your family, because this is the problem with many of you. You listen to this information and number 1, you feel like you're not worthy. Number 2, you think it's impossible. You think that somebody else is doing something differently than you can do. No, they're just getting up off of their hump and they're using their knowledge. They're reading. They're constantly enriching their mind by reading and staying on top of what's going on, keeping their fingers on the pulse of what's going on in this world. It's not impossible for you. You hear this all the time. You can do whatever you put your mind to, but you constantly don't believe it. You constantly don't believe it. And anything that you don't put out in the universe does not have a chance to grow. Don't ever hear anything on this channel and feel like, oh, well, I'm just going to go to bed. That ain't for me. That ain't what I do. That's not what I do. You're being selfish, especially if you have heirs and you have children, you have responsibilities. You can't keep ignoring this information. You can't keep allowing this information to pass you by and you do nothing with it because you think it's impossible for you. You think that what you have going on in your life is bigger than this, and it's not. Anything that you have going on in your life can be overcome. You know how I know? Because you got breath in your lungs. You woke up this morning. Just think about the many people that wish that they could have woken up this morning and didn't have the chance to. They've transitioned on. But you got breath in your lungs. You got life in your body. And you tell me anything else is impossible? You're more than your successes. You're more than your failures. You're the work. Everything goes through you. And it starts right here with the tool between your 2 shoulders. And as long as you're here, and as long as you're underneath the sound of my voice, I'm going to pound that into your system until you finally get it. Wealth Wednesday, guys. Hope you guys are doing well. Thank you so much for tuning in to the channel for another rendition of Fine-Tuning the Mind. Fine-tuning the mind. Some days, man, my intensity is up. For this one, I'm a little bit more chill on tonight. So take it as it is. You know, you got to take the crooked with the straights. But I thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I know you could have been anywhere in the world today, but you chose to give us a couple seconds of your time, and we certainly appreciate that. So go out into the world. Make it a better place. Go out into the world and make your mark. Go out into the world and make a moment. Go out into the world and dominate. This is my message to you. Until the next video, it's your boy Top Dog. I'm out.